What's up, folks? It's Jang here from ultimaterc.com with the Twin Hammers 1/10 scale rock racer King Hammers 1.9-inch scalar rock buggy thing from Vaterra. Vaterra, brand new brand from Horizon Hobby. They just announced the brand not too long ago on the whole, and they rolled out their plans for a bunch of new products, and some of them have gotten well, mostly this one has gotten most of the interest, honestly, out of all of their new products that they're offering. This is the most unique looking one. So I picked this up, starting price about 400 bucks for a ready to run set. So a decent amount of dough you got to drop on this thing. But the box has been sitting around, kind of just teasing me for the past, I don't know, couple weeks or so. Just haven't had a chance to get to it. So now it is time to finally get into this box and check this thing out in person. I have not done any research into what other folks have learned about this early on. Haven't looked a lot at I haven't looked carefully at the specs and whatnot. So this is just a raw first look at this thing for me. A lot of it's going to be subjective. It's going to be based on just what I see here. Got some more stuff in here, so I'm going to check that out. Ooh, looking pretty good so far. The tires are decently sticky too. The foams feel a bit too thick, but not too bad. But a nice tread on those tires though. And let's see, so far looking good. Get some more of this packing material off. Some anodized caps too. Yes, they are, with the old style spring holders. Way too much preload in the front there. Back feels pretty good. But before I get into that too much, the part of the box that has the radio in it, Spectrum DX3E radio. This thing feels really good in the hand. I don't know about the range on these. I haven't checked out the range in a while. Hey, where's the bottom? Missing something. Nice soft silicone foam rubber grip front and back. God, that feels kind of pro. Lots of adjustability here. You've got all of your endpoints, and I believe this is a 3-channel radio. Let's see what that's all about. Dual rate for steering right there. Very nice, very nice. More stuff in this little package off to the side. Let me see what all comes with this in total. So, paperwork and batteries. Hey, they even give you batteries for your transmitter. And this is a battery pack. LiPo, comes with a LiPo, 2,000 milliamp hour. Dynamite brand, of course. They would stay within the brand. With the EC3 connector on it, their proprietary thing, which I hate, but oh well. But you can see that this is a tiny little pack. This is not a regular 10th scale size pack. This is a tiny little pack that you would usually see used on an 18th scale or something like that. Really small. Did not expect that. Kind of looked a little bit small when I was looking on the box, but I did not realize it was going to be that small. There's some more stuff in one of these packages here. Here's the base for the battery door for the radio. Okay, I think that covers everything. One tool here. I do see there is an extra, looks like an extra pinion gear. Is that what that is? I hope that's not what that is. It looks very odd and unusual. I'm going to open this up, see what's up with that. Quite a lot of paperwork here, or something really thick. The manual looks like they give you a full manual rather than just the regular quick start. Ooh, satin finish with raised lettering on it. God, that's fancy. And God, it's really nice. It's embossed and full color here. This is nice. Wow, a lot of detail. Would be nice if they actually did have a quick start section though, because this is, oh, it's multiple, it's all the languages. every page has every language. Is it, or is it just multiple? Well, anyway, nice manual. Yeah, no quick start guide, just goes right into the full detail. I'm trying to get to this because I'm still curious about, I mean, it looks like almost looks like a pulley, but no, it is a gear. Oh gosh, that's a Servo Saber adapter, I believe. 23 tooth, it says right there, for your Airtronics servos. I guess that's a Servo Saber adapter to go over the horn. An alternate one. I've never seen one of these made of metal before. Bizarre, but I guess I can't complain. Check out what that looks like in a minute up closer. And then last thing before I finally get to the vehicle, really, in this box, dynamite. This should be a charger, battery charger, right? AC, and should hook up to a balance plug directly. Yep, that's all it does. Just a basic up to 3 cell, 10 watt, so 0.9, 1.3 amp on 2 cell charging. Hey, lipo battery, lipo charger, AC, can't complain. Ready to run. That's really what you want nowadays. I mean, this is, hello train in the background. Nowadays, this is the age of lipo, so don't need to be seeing, especially for 400 bucks, don't want to be seeing a nickel metal hydride pack in there. And I see that this has an optional charge port, so if you get rechargeable batteries, speaking of nickel metal hydride, get rechargeable batteries, you can get an optional adapter to charge directly from here, and this guy should be, ding, she's on. Okay, so the vehicle itself, let's get up a little bit closer to this thing, have a better look at it. I really like the look. I like the color scheme. Again, the shocks in the front, there's oil, there's air in them, quite a bit of air actually, and they're just preloaded way too much out of the box, but decent ground clearance on this thing, smooth on the bottom, very smooth. Look at that, very nice wide surface to the bottom of these trailing arm links in the back, pretty smooth on the rear, solid axle, obviously solid axle rear, independent front, again with arms, very smooth here, smooth, everything's smooth to not get caught up on stuff. So great thinking there, great planning, good idea, what they've done there. This is plastic, this is metal, I think that's metal. So hybrid, metal, and then plastic in the center. Got some anodized aluminum pieces here, the inner suspension blocks. There's a brace back here. It looks like it's a steel coated cast steel brace across the front there. Good amount of articulation. That's surprising right out of the box, even with the front being so stiff still. And I also don't have battery in, so it's not at full laden weight just yet, but that's pretty darn cool, man. Not bad at all. These wheels are genuine bead locks. They're plastic, but they are bead locks, so you can change these tires out, or at least get in there and star out the foams that are a little bit too stiff. I see they've got one other option for mounting the upper links. It's 4-link suspension. One other option here. We're changing that, changing the geometry just a little bit. No other options for where to mount the shocks on the bottom here. Got a few options up top. It looks like 3. That's not going to have a whole lot of effect. Lay down shocks in the front, the so-called Revo style or Formula 1 style. Lay down. Let's yeah. Okay, let's take this top off and see what we got going on underneath. All right. Battery goes there. Looks like they're You can go sideways or lengthwise, depending upon how much weight bias. There's going to be way too much weight bias in the lengthwise, or the sideways mounting. But I'm looking for an easy way to take this body off, to get underneath there, and I'm not seeing it. It looks to me like they have gone the axial exo route with this and made the roll cage integral to the structure of the entire chassis. This is all plastic here. It's a tub, it's a pretty tall tub, should have a good amount of strength to it, but I'm not seeing any easy way to get in there. It looks like I'm just gonna have to bust out the 1.5 millimeter hex driver and go to town to get inside of this. And this is, I want to say disappointing me, but I'm actually going to just go the rest of the way. I see there's a sway bar mount. Sway bars are not included with the kit, but there's a mount. I'm going to go the rest of the way and just say this is pissing me off that they didn't learn from Axial's mistake with the exo on this. Yeah, so I'm going to cut and tear a bunch of this stuff off and hopefully come back and see what's underneath. All right, so after I got the body panels off, and you can see I put them back on, I was able to see clearly enough about the structure of this thing, and I was able to plan out a route of attack to get the entire upper structure off. And I'm happy to report that once you know the technique, it takes way less screws than the Axial Exo. It takes only 12 screws of how many different types? 1, 2, 3. Looks like 12 screws of 3 different types with 2 different bits to get that entire upper structure off. Much better than it could have been, but much worse than it should have been, in my opinion. I mean, HPI got it right with their Apache C1. What was it, 4 or 6 body clips? Take the entire thing right off, easy access. But there you can see how this thing is arranged. Pretty thin, very flexible, not the most sturdy thing, but all put together and connected in, it does become pretty rigid, and it still has a little bit of give, so I wouldn't expect this to be breaking very easily. But now that I've got all that mess off, you can see what's going on. You can see the mess going on underneath. Lots of wiring going around. Brushed ESC from Dynamite there. Here is a receiver, waterproof. It looks like I think everything is waterproof on this. Waterproof receiver, pretty large spectrum unit here, SR300. Boo! Don't like those very weak receivers in general. We'll see how well it does on this. And then a waterproof steering servo. And there I can see, yep, it's got at least a brass output spline, but I can see that insert down in there. That is indeed metal. Do we have servo saver action? Does not appear to be the case. I don't see any servo saver action going on in there. Have a slide style steering rack. See, slide. That servo is geared down a lot. That's going to be pretty slow, I'm sure, but it looks like it hopefully will have enough torque. This is another servo, the mini-sized servo up here, and that's for shifting. It has a 2-speed transmission, 2-speed manual transmission, so you've got a high range and a low range. We'll have to see how that works out in the real world. We've got these glitch-fighting, EMF-reducing iron rings around the drive wires here to try to keep ye old SR300 from browning out constantly, probably. But Dynamite 15-turn sealed can motor, you know, basic, simple, has a built-in integrated little centrifugal fan to help try to keep it cool. Again, using the 1.5 millimeter hexes for most things on this, as if it was or for a lot of things, as if it was a 18th scale or something. But it looks like a single screw for adjusting or tightening down your mesh to where you want that to be. Believe there should be a slipper clutch behind door number X. Yep, slipper clutch adjustment right there. Pretty easy access to that as long as you have a wrench that comes in from the side, and looks like they do give you that. That will work perfectly. Excellent, that's included. Even stamped with their brand name. See if I can get this back on now that I've gotten it off without too much hassle. What else is going on with this thing? Like I said, anodized aluminum shocks all the way around with aluminum caps also. They do not have threaded bodies. They have pinch style preload collars, the old Losi trademark. So again, you need to have your hex driver ready for that, and looks like that head may be a 2mm head instead. What else is going on here? The rear shock tower setup has to be integrated in with the roll cage to get its strength, so don't worry about how flimsy that looks there. It becomes much better. Here's your front suspension setup. Like I said, preloaded too much. There's too much air in there right now. Not a lot of adjustability, if any. Is there any? Nope, just right height. That's all that you can adjust up front. Looks like at least camber length can be adjusted, so you can change your dynamic camber up front, your camber gain. Does have a drive shaft going up to the front from your center transmission, and it's a CVA style at one end. So dog bone end here, constant velocity, so-called constant velocity joint down here. Your fronts are so-called constant velocity shafts. So here, basically just call it a universal joint here. This is metal, all metal here. I see bearings. I don't see any evidence of bushings anywhere. I'm going to say bearings throughout the entire vehicle. That is good. And they are rubber sealed, also good for dealing with the elements. No worries about drive shaft from straight drive shaft coming from the back, because they've just got it. We already looked at that. It's all external. Very simple. It should be pretty easy to clean this thing up from junk that you get from the terrain on the outside. It gets covered up pretty well with the roll cage with the body and everything. So you'll probably get dust inside, but not a whole lot of mud and dirt. So I appreciate that. What else is there to see here? I think that pretty much covers it all. This shifting servo is also waterproof. Don't know what this extra tap is here for. Oh, binding plug, I guess. Yep, that's what that's for, binding plug. So what they've done here is all of your plugs on the receiver for the waterproof unit are external, and so they've put sealant around the bottom. So it's an easier way to seal that off. That's why all these wires are sticking out, and that's the only reason for it. So, okay, not bad ideation there. Anything else? I think that's about it for looking at this one. It's about all that I can see right now. Pretty good looking vehicle. Needs some preload to be removed from there. Rear suspension's feeling pretty good. Supposed to be able to get some decent speeds, and also crawling speeds, or fast crawling speeds. It's not intended to be a full-on scalar crawler kind of thing. It's rock racer, so they want it to be able to do King of Hammers style stuff. Multiple terrain styles with a little bit of rock driving mixed in. So far, so good. The things that I wish were different. I wish that they used less screws to hold down the roll cage. I think they could have pulled it off with just 6 screws, maybe 8 at the most. I would prefer to have them all have the same size of head and be all the same length, so that you don't have to sort them carefully when putting it back on. The use of a tiny little battery, and it doesn't look like they have native room for a full 10th scale sized battery. A little bit questionable there. I'm fine with them including just a small one. This will be fine for that brushed motor. geared down and everything, small, relatively small wheels and tires, 2000 milliamp hours. This should give you decent runtime, but the option to run a larger battery pack physically would have been nice. And then these foams, like I said, a little bit on the stiff side, but the tires themselves, nice, very nice design, kind of like the flat irons from Proline, similar to that. They're called Race Claws. I'm assuming from the font, I think they might be actually Vaterra brand, but alternately it could be under the Dynamite brand. It's all the same parent company, so it doesn't matter. But there you go, my first look at the Vaterra Twin Hammers 10th scale 1.9 inch scale rock racer. Good looking thing. When will I drive this? I have no idea. Contrary to popular belief, the RC YouTube channel is a very small portion of my life, so just expect it to be weeks before you see any driving footage. If anything comes up sooner, I happen to have a chance to drive it and I upload some stuff, great, awesome. But don't expect it to be soon. Just give me time to get to it when I get to it. I got a lot of stuff in the queue. But I am definitely looking forward to driving this thing because I like the look of it. I want to see what it looks like actually rolling around. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you again when I talk to you again. Oh, hey, I almost forgot to share with you which screws I found were optimal for taking this thing off. I don't know if it's the best choice, but it seemed to be a pretty decent one. So screws to take the entire roll cage off most easily. I'm just going to show you on one side. The ones that I took were here, right here at the end, followed by, there are 4 on the bottom, the ones with the larger heads, 1, 2, 3, 4, with the cap heads. And then you need to take these 2 right here, the inner ones from the shock tower. And then to disconnect the battery, I'm trying to see if there's any better way to get the battery tray off. I went with this one here on both sides, and taking all those off. You could actually probably leave this one in and then just rotate it up a little bit, but if you want to get full motion, you want to take the entire thing off, take that one out also. Do note that, again, these have the 1.5 millimeter heads on them, so they're easy to strip, so take care when taking them out, and especially when putting them back in. Do it slowly. However, I do recommend using a driver because especially these up front are hellaciously long. They go all the way in, fine threaded. That's a long distance to go. So I do recommend using a power driver carefully, especially for those are pretty long. These are pretty long. These back here are pretty long. These are short, and the ones underneath are fine. But hopefully that'll help you out if you get this thing and you want to take the cage off in less than 100 steps. Hopefully that'll help you. Do be careful though. Pay attention to what screws are coming out of which location so that you can put them back correctly. You can definitely do it wrong and end up accidentally stripping some things if you put short ones where longer ones are needed. And like I said, there are a number of different specs of screws used there. So that's it. Bye for now.